Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we'll learn about 12 subtle signs of an immature woman. Now, let's begin. What does it mean to be mature? Well, a mature person is someone whose thoughts and behaviors align with real-life situations rather than misplaced ideas, wishes, and feelings. They're aware of what's really going on, and they never expect reality to change just because they want it to. An immature person, on the other hand, experiences something known as affective realism. Their reality is a product of their feelings, not facts, evidence, or intelligent observations. For example, an immature woman may believe that she's the most attractive person in the world. Obviously, we all know that isn't true, but immaturity can make people do, say, and believe some obviously foolish things. So why are some people mature while others are selfish and even delusional? Any number of bad influences, misleading experiences, and misconceptions about the world, it can sabotage your emotional development. For instance, immaturity is common among people whose parents are especially controlling or overbearing. So-called helicopter parents tend to slow down people's emotional development, leading some full-grown adults to think, act, and behave like someone half their age. As a result, they fail to develop critical skills like empathy and self-reflection, instead embracing selfish delusions about their reality. Now, of course, it can be challenging to identify immature characteristics in someone you know, especially if that person is a female friend or partner. There's a common stereotype that all women are completely self-aware and emotionally perceptive. On average, women do have greater emotional intelligence than men, but that doesn't mean that every woman exhibits the same characteristics. Just like there are many immature men in the world, there are many immature women. In other words, anyone can be immature, regardless of their gender or background. So how do you know if someone in your life is immature and potentially delusional? If you're watching this video, you probably know someone whose actions you simply cannot understand, perhaps because they see the world through an immature lens. So the next time you see this person, look for these 12 subtle signs of emotional immaturity. If you notice more than one, well, there's a good chance she's more selfish and immature than she's willing to admit. Number 1. The me factor. An immature woman thinks that everything revolves around her. She doesn't pay attention to other people's lives. She doesn't consider other people's needs. And when there's a problem, she thinks only about how to improve her situation, never for a moment considering that other people are suffering too. We call this the me factor, and it's incredibly common among emotionally immature women. All she thinks about is me, often at the expense of her friends and partners. If you know a woman who doesn't understand anyone else's perspective, be cautious because she's probably more immature than you realize. Number 2. Verifiable action. An immature person may brag endlessly about themselves, emphasizing their talents and gifts without ever doing anything to back up their claims. For example, an immature woman might say, "I work 100 times harder than anybody in this room." But every time you see her, she's procrastinating on her phone. To put it simply, she says one thing and does another. Her words don't match her actions, and she hardly ever follows through on her promises. All she wants to do is impress other people without putting in any actual work, and that's a telltale sign of emotional immaturity. Number 3. Living in chaos. Immature people are surrounded by chaos and drama, complaining to their friends and partners about how difficult their lives can be. This poor me mentality construes them as victims of other people's cruelty, but is that really what's happening? The truth is that she isn't taking responsibility for her own conflict-seeking behavior. Don't get pulled into her toxic narrative. Anyone who maintains a poor me mentality and lives their life in chaos is not only self-destructive but also emotionally immature. Number 4. Basic dependence. Does she make you responsible for her happiness? It's a common sign of immaturity when a woman is unable to meet her own needs. For example, she may be unhappy or lonely whenever you're not around. She can't seem to find a sense of direction or even spend her time wisely unless you're there to motivate and support her. While support is important to any relationship, it should never be your responsibility to fulfill another person's basic needs. Everyone should be able to make themselves happy on their own. If she's unable or unwilling to take care of herself, she may not be as mature as you think. Number 5. Taking everything. An immature woman takes and takes without ever giving back to the people in her life. She expects everyone to do things for her but never extends the same care and consideration to others. Many immature people develop an inflated sense of self, which leads to self-centered and inconsiderate behavior. She may insist that you are lucky just to be around her, or that she's too important to lift a finger for anyone else. If you're not careful, this kind of immature person will keep taking things from you until you have nothing left. Number 6. The worth of social media. In today's world, many people believe popularity on social media determines their self-worth. If a woman is immature, she may believe that gaining attention on social media makes her a better, more valuable person. She judges her success on the validation of others and spends much of her time seeking the attention of people that she may or may not know. While there's nothing wrong with enjoying social media, anyone who allows social popularity to determine their worth likely has some growing up to do. Number 7. The silent treatment. An immature person doesn't know how to express their needs and feelings constructively. When something goes wrong, instead of expressing themselves, they lash out and they punish other people for their internal problems. A common manifestation of this behavior is known as the silent treatment. Some immature women use silence as a form of punishment for their friends and partners. She may ignore you, keep her distance from you, and make you feel guilty for what you've done. In other words, she wants to bully you into doing what she wants and will continue punishing you until she gets her way. This behavior is incredibly frustrating and it prevents you from having a mature conversation about your problems. So if you know someone who uses these immature tactics to get their way, don't play into their hands. She needs to clearly express her feelings and communicate her issues. If she's unwilling to do so, she's immature, and your relationship is paying the price. Number 8. Desperate for attention. Some immature women need to be the center of attention at all times. The more attention she receives, the better she feels about herself. On the other hand, whenever she's overlooked or ignored, she becomes insecure, defensive, and desperate to find the spotlight again. This mentality is common among people who lack intrinsic meaning and security in their lives. So she chases the spotlight, allowing external validation to determine her feelings toward herself. Not only is this unhealthy, but it's a reliable sign of social and emotional immaturity. Number 9. Projecting her faults. An immature woman isn't willing to work on her problems or even acknowledge that she has any. For example, let's say you're having problems with your girlfriend. If you bring up concerns in the relationship, she may not take your needs seriously. Instead, she turns the tables on you and she accuses you of being too sensitive or insecure. But don't worry, it's not your fault. She may blame you for every problem in your relationship when she's the one unwilling to grow and change. Number 10. Absolute correctness. Some people genuinely believe they're always right. Regardless of what the world throws at them, they close their ears and recycle the same flawed ideas as if they know more than everybody and anybody all the time. This kind of immature behavior is evidence of self-centeredness and a limited perspective, both of which comes from emotional immaturity. The truth is that no one has all the answers, and no one has a perfect understanding of how to live or what decisions to make. Anyone who thinks they're always right probably lacks the wisdom and experience to understand why they're wrong. Number 11. Egocentric desire. An immature woman demands to be the most attractive person in the room. She wants to be the subject of every conversation and the envy of every man, even when her actual partner is standing by her side. This intense variety of egocentrism is evidence of an insecure and immature person who relies heavily on physical attraction to gain attention and praise. She likely cares tremendously about what other people think of her and overvalues her ability to attract potential partners. At a deeper level, she may be unhappy and insecure, but she's too immature to remedy those feelings on her own. Number 12. The intimacy gap. Do you feel alone in your relationship? An immature woman doesn't pay attention to the time and effort her friends and partners invest into their relationship. You spend time thinking about and planning ways to strengthen your bond, but she refuses to meet you in the middle. We call this an intimacy gap, and it's a common sign that your partner is emotionally immature. They don't realize how much hard work it takes to keep a relationship alive, or simply expect you to do all the heavy lifting. The worst part is, when you express your concerns, she may become defensive and dismiss your needs in the relationship. She may not take responsibility for her shortcomings and will turn the tables on you for demanding more than she thinks you deserve. So, if you're in a lopsided relationship, look for other signs of immaturity in your partner, because any woman who expects you to bear the burden of your relationship on your own likely isn't as mature as she thinks. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.